Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture is My Life. Now, in today's episode, I'd like to answer a few questions, or I guess cover a topic as well that is pressing in light of the times in which we're faced with at the moment. And today's topic of discussion will be on the emotion worry. Okay, because there are more and more of you guys globally. And special shout out to my audience in Germany, UK, Canada, Brazil, Nepal, India, and if I'm forgetting your country, please excuse me. But many of you guys have engaged in conversation with me on the Acupuncture is My Life app. And if you don't already have it, it's free at your app store on your phone. Many of you globally have engaged in conversation with regard to this emotion, that being worry. And the episode on Acupuncture is My Life TV. I don't think Roku TV is streaming in Nepal and India and Germany. I know it's in the UK and Canada as well as the United States. But some of you watch Acupuncture is My Life TV streaming on Apple TV or Amazon Fire, and in a few cases Android TV. And then there are those that downloaded the Acupuncture is My Life network app to watch episodes of Acupuncture is My Life TV, and I'm glad some of you enjoy the yoga episodes. It's great for mental and emotional disorders. I'm happy to hear that you're benefiting from those episodes. And we have a wellness channel with a world-renowned registered dietitian and nutritionist on Acupuncture is My Life TV. So check it out. It's great. But worry. Some of you inquired about guilt and shame episode, some the anger episode, anxiety. Emotions can serve, and I've stated this before, can serve as a cause for disease or of disease once it becomes chronic. Now, we need various emotions in our life, such as anxiety and worry and some stress, because it heightens our level of performance both cognitively as well as physically. You see, it becomes a problem once it becomes chronic. Okay? Once it becomes chronic, that is when it becomes a problem. And we want to look to avoid that. And whenever you notice that there's a persistent emotion, just doesn't seem to want to go away. It's pressing, and there's no real apparent reason or long-term reason for you to be experiencing it. See an acupuncturist right away. See an acupuncturist as soon as you can. You can even contact Acupuncture is My Life. We see patients virtually as well. But when it comes to worry is one of the most common emotional causes of disease globally. Why is that? Think about that for a second. It's not just limited to the United States or UK or Canada or Australia or the Netherlands or Spain. It's a global problem. Why is that? It's because it's due to such rapid and radical social changes in which we as a global society have been experiencing over the past 2 decades. And leading to today. And this includes what we're faced with at this present time as a global society. It includes that as well. And we have to be aware of that. Now, it's not just due to rapid and radical changes. Worry can also be due to a pre-existing disharmony of your internal organs, which would make you prone to worry. And I get patients that come in and once I explain this to them, I mean, it blows them away. It really, really shocks them. Yes, pre-existing disharmony within the internal organs can make you prone to worry. And this is why I say over and over, along with seeing your physician on an annual basis, make regular wellness visits with your acupuncturist. Because there's so much to the human organism that even though it is you may not be aware of. Okay? And you know, even when my patients come in and it's been discovered that there is a pre-existing disharmony in their internal organs. And I'll explain to them, you know, how they may. Do they find themselves, let's say, for example, worrying about trivial things? Do they tend to do things or everything in a hurry? And always present as being pressed for time? Now, to an acupuncturist, this can actually be due to a constitutional weakness of either the spleen, heart, lungs, or a combination of the three. And I walk my patients through it. Just to give you an example, like, patient X can walk in to the Acupuncture's My Life clinic here in New York City suffering from worry. And I'll have them stand in front of a mirror. And I'll discuss symptoms like, do you notice any changes in your complexion that makes you appear as pale, I'm sorry. And are you experiencing a persistent dry cough or cough and get uncomfortable feelings in your chest, slight shortness of breath, and do you tend to experience, let's say, a tensing of your shoulders? You know, and if someone were to answer me yes, you know, I would therefore know, one, there's lung involvement. You know, and are you experiencing, let's say, abdominal distension? Yes, and I know the spleen is involved. Now, the functions of the spleen to an acupuncturist is different. It's more similar to that of the pancreas in allopathic, or should I say Western medicine. And this is why I tend to say to a lot of individuals, many individuals who message me on the Acupuncture's My Life app, concerned, you know, am I construing the functions of the spleen in the wrong way? I send them to the Acupuncture's My Life YouTube channel so they can watch the episodes on the functions of the various internal organs as understood by an acupuncturist. All right? So if at any time you ever find yourself getting slightly confused with regard to my discussing the functions of a particular internal organ. And you have to keep in mind, I reference chi, blood, yin, yang, and so on. Just go to the Acupuncture is My Life YouTube channel and watch the functions of the internal organs and how they're perceived as functioning from the perspective of an acupuncturist. Good example, like we're talking about worry, right? To an acupuncturist, worry tends to injure a person's lungs, which tends to allow for that person's chi or lung chi to accumulate in the lungs. And that's what it would allow for them to experience, let's say, an uncomfortable feeling in the chest with slight shortness of breath and tensing of the shoulders and a persistent cough. That's due to that chi accumulating in the lungs as a result of worry, because worry can injure a person's lungs, okay? Keep that in mind, please. Now, to an acupuncturist understands that worry can also affect a person's liver, and it can cause the chi of their liver to stagnate, or the yang aspect of their liver to rise. And when this yang, excess yang from the liver goes up toward the head, that person will start to experience achy and stiffness in their trapezius muscles. So when patients come in, some of them do not realize that their shoulder pain, or what they determine to be shoulder pain, is as a result of chronic worry. And once an acupuncturist explains that to you, a whole new world. It's like this light goes off. And it's like, whoa. Now I see why in your podcasts or on your social media platforms, you're constantly saying make regular wellness visits with your acupuncturist along with seeing your physician. Because many lives have been changed as a result of individuals seeing their acupuncturist, whether it's every other week or once a month or every season, whatever the case may be. But to once you're made to understand how the cause of, in some cases, this isn't every case, no way, but in some cases, an emotion in its chronic state can cause shoulder pain. Whoa. And this is why I say acupuncturists get to the root. They treat the root, not the symptom. Because there's a treatment protocol, and I even discuss a basic treatment protocol on Acupuncture is My Life TV for worry, as well as anxiety and other mental and emotional disorders. So even watching Acupuncture is My Life TV streaming on Roku TV or Apple TV or Amazon Fire or Android TV, you would see like how an acupuncturist can approach treating mental and emotional disorders. And then also I sit with a group of experts to discuss ways in which we can approach these disorders. We can address these disorders. I mean, there's a psychotherapist, there's an iridologist, there's a registered dietitian, certified fitness trainers, yoga instructors. There's so many people on that panel. So if you're not already watching Acupuncture is My Life TV, streaming on Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, or Android TV, or you can even get it on your Android or iPhone device. If you go to the App Store, then you're missing out on a lot. In some cases, some people are suffering from mental and emotional disorders, and they're afraid to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist and have no clue that acupuncture can serve as an alternative. a very effective alternative. I even explain to my patients that'll come in and they're, presenting with poor appetite, abdominal distension, and they always feel tired. To an acupuncturist, the spleen may have been affected by chronic worry. So we'll do further testing and we'll do our assessments, what we're trained to do, to support whether that internal organ is involved, what's going on. And for instance, if chronic worry affects the heart, it can cause the chi of the heart to stagnate. Now, when heart chi stagnates, individuals tend to experience, let's say, heart palpitations, insomnia, and this feeling of like tightness of the chest. And his big concern at that point, because they have no clue as to what's going on. And many individuals begin to feel like, oh my gosh, is this like, am I dying here? What's going on? And no, it's not the case. It isn't. So I say see your local acupuncturist. Why? Because we understand that health is wealth. We know that the wealth is not in the stock market. It's not in a bond fund. It's not in the bank. It's not in the safe. It's not in your pocket. It's not in your purse. It's not under your mattress. It's not in the shoebox in the closet. It's not under the doghouse in the backyard. We understand that it's in you. And once you understand that, your life begins to change, and you strongly then consider to make acupuncture a part of your life, because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?